Welcome back, everyone. Happy February 1st and welcome to the second monthly motivation video for 2020. Don't forget, I will be bringing you a monthly motivation video, the first of every single month throughout the entire year. I did this all of 2019 and so many of you loved this type of theme as it helped to encourage you to keep on track to whatever goals you have set for yourself and keep you inspired and motivated to achieve those. So we are going to plug right along for 2020 and do the same thing. Today's video is on consistency. Consistency is key. If you are someone who exercises in any form all year long, then you already know that consistency is key. Everything that I share in today's video will relate to you. Now, if you are that person that does not stick with something consistently and you would like to learn from those of us that do, then you will find a lot of great tips in today's video. I'm going to be sharing 5 tips with you on what to do to achieve your goals, some things to consider and look at, and ways to stay consistent. Before we get started, let's go over a couple of things. The first thing that I want to address is those people that exercise consistently don't all love it. Some do, many don't. It's not about whether or not they enjoy exercising. That is not what keeps them consistent. I am one of those people that do not like exercising at all. I've shared this before, so if you're a longtime follower, you already know that. For me, exercise, diet, watching what I eat, many things that I do are not about whether or not I would like to. It's just something that I feel is my responsibility to do to take care of myself. Number 2, and many of you that are consistent exercisers can relate to this, my workouts do not give me results unless my diet complements that. If you are someone that consistently exercises and you would agree with what I just shared, meaning if you are exercising 5-6 days a week, very hardcore, but yet your diet is not on point, you will look like what you've been eating. Basically, you will put fat and body weight on and it will not complement the exercise program. This is such a misconception. People often will think, oh, well, she stays in shape because she exercises. No one will really look in shape if their diet is not complementing their exercise program. Again, I get no results unless my diet complements my exercise routine. I did a video this past year, actually a couple months ago, where I was debunking your diet and exercise myths. That video will be linked in the drop-down box below. I will also put it up here in the corner. You can click on it to watch it there. Another recent video I did about 3 weeks ago was I shared the exercise equipment that I use to accomplish my workouts. My workouts take place in my home, so I shared with you what I use and some recommendations if you are just getting started. I also shared in that video what I do for my exercise routine. So if you want to hear what that is, I actually even put on the blog post a day by day of what my workout consisted of, so you'll want to check that video out. It will also be linked, and I will also put that one up in the corner if you want to click on it there. I will give you a very short recap. I work out 5 days a week consistently. Every single one of those workouts has a cardio program consistently, and I do my abs all 5 days consistently. Along with that, I train my 5 different body parts. That would be shoulders, back, chest, biceps, and triceps. And I also do a lot of leg movements in every one of those 5 workouts. I do this consistently. It's just what I do. And what you are going to find out, and we'll talk more about that in today's video, is that those that consistently stick to the program, they will tell you it's just what I do. If you were to say, how do you stick with an exercise routine? They really can't explain it because it's just what they do. It's just part of their life. That's where lifestyle comes to play. They consistently get the job done. The other thing that consistently happens with me is my workout time. I get up at 4 a.m. most days of the week and I do my workout right then. For some people, that trips them up. 4 in the morning, how do you do that? When do you go to bed? Well, I'll share with you. I go to bed around 8 o'clock and it is lights out. I have to because I have to get up at 4 to get my workout done or my workout may not take place. The reason for that is I start my work day at 6:30. What I am getting at is your wake up time often is determined by when you start your work day. If you don't work outside the home, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom or you're retired, you still have a time of day that your day starts. Your wake up time will dictate and complement that just like your bedtime will. I am someone who needs 8 hours at a minimum of sleep. I probably could get away with 9. But the reason that I start my day so early is because my husband, who I have been married to for almost 28 years, he's always worked first shift. His shift is 6 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon, and we've always made it a point in our marriage to try to stay on the same schedule. Now, many people will throw at me, well, what about kids? Well, I had 5, and somehow I was able to accomplish this. Now, I will share with you that I have not always got up at 4, but all the other years prior to my 4 a.m. wake up, it was 5 a.m. So ever since before I even had my first child, I was getting up at 5. I started my day to complement my husband's schedule so we could get up together and therefore we go to bed together. That's what worked for us. Just like everything that I share in all of my videos, you have to find what works for you. But I can tell you one thing, if you want something to happen, you'll make it happen. We always do. If something is very important to us and therefore it becomes a priority, you will make it happen. So don't let the excuses that many inconsistent people throw out there get in your way, because that's just what it is excuses. The focus of this video is not on what a person does, what equipment they use, or what time their workout takes place. This video is about consistency. You see, when you consistently do something, it becomes second nature. It becomes a habit. It takes place with very little thought. You just consistently get the job done. The focus is going to be on you and how you can become consistent by learning some of the things that us consistent people do. One of the mistakes I see all the time is people are jumping into other people's boxes and they're trying to do what other people do. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So I'm going to share 5 tips with you today that focus on getting the job done and sticking with the program, whatever it is for you, consistently. All right, tip number 1. What is your why? Identify what your goal is and why. You have to know your why. It's not about what you want, but more about why you want it. Let me give you an example. Let's look at the word want. What do you want? I want to lose weight. Why? To look great and feel good about myself. Losing weight will shift my self-esteem, and that confidence will show up in other areas of my life. Now that would be a great why. When identifying your why, pay attention to whether your why is short-term or long-term. A short-term why generally equals short-term results. A long-term why equals long-term results. Or another way to look at it is maintenance. To maintain something requires consistency. Let's take a look at another example where I'm showing long-term and short-term. What do you want? I want to lose weight. Why? So I look great and feel good about myself. Now that would be long-term versus I want to look great on my vacation. That would be short-term. The reason that you have to be very careful with your short-term goal or your short-term why is that what is going to happen when you come back from that vacation. You know how good you felt. You looked great, or you were happy with how you looked. Maybe you had not gotten to the full results that you were looking for, but you made some stride and you feel really good about that. If you come back from vacation and you just go back to your old patterns and there's no exercise, there's no scheduling your priorities, then what is going to happen is you're generally going to put that weight back on, and therefore you're not going to feel as good about yourself because you're no longer going to look great like you did for your vacation. So be very careful with the short-term whys. That can give you some motivation, but I will tell you right now, those exercisers that stick to the plan consistently, they never have a short-term why. They may beef it up a little, and I will share that with you. If I am getting ready for a vacation, especially if it were a beach vacation, I would probably amp it up a little bit. I would tweak my diet, get a little bit more tighter about it, and I would probably amp up my exercise routine to give myself a little bit of an advantage. Then when I come back from vacation, I may go back to my clean eating plan in my normal exercise routine, but I will consistently be back at it. Tip number 2, be realistic. Before you can effectively plan your workouts, determine what time you are realistically going to get those workouts done. If you have never stuck with a workout routine first thing in the morning before going into work, you've given it a try and you've never stuck with it, then why would you now? And I'm not trying to limit you in any way, because who's to say that it couldn't work this time? But be realistic. If you've tried several times, just like if you've tried a certain diet several times and you never follow through, then maybe you need to try something else. And don't worry about what anyone else is doing. If you're too tired to do your exercise routine after you get home from work, and then you gather up the kids and you take them to all their practices and lessons and everything that takes place in the evening, you know you're not going to get it home afterwards, then you need to be realistic that that's not going to work for you. Now, many people find so many excuses. I can't consistently stay with it in the morning. I can't consistently stay with it in the evening. Well, if it's your why and it's a priority and it's a goal and you want to make it happen, you will make it happen. Those that exercise consistently year-round, they are just as busy as you are. We all have the same number of hours in a day. It's just that they don't think about it. It's just what they do, and they do it consistently, whether they would like to or not, and we'll talk more about that. It's never up for negotiation. And even when they've met their goal weight or they're happy and satisfied with how their body looks, they still exercise consistently, because if you're not maintaining it, what do you think is going to happen? Moving on to number 3, schedule your priorities. Make your why a priority. That means you will be saying no to the things that once were your priority, and you will be saying yes to your new priority, your why. Steve Jobs once said, don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. That worked well for Steve, and it can also work well for you. After sleep and work comes your why. I get that there are kids, husbands, dogs, groceries, mail to pick up, dry cleaning, whatever. I get all that. Those are always going to be there, and they can always be your excuses not to get the job done. But those that work out consistently, don't let those excuses get in the way. They always make time for themselves, and they balance their life. It's called work-life balance, and also taking care of yourself. It will never serve you to let yourself go and not take care of yourself. And believe me, when you are taking care of yourself, you are showing up in every area of your life. That means you will be showing up more for your husband, your kids, your dogs, and everywhere else, including your job. Because when we feel good about ourselves and we feel good about how we look, we always show up more energetically in all areas of our life. You know that. Think about a time when you did look good and feel great. How did the rest of your life flow? You probably will recall that every area was kind of on top of its game, because it often is what your energy is and what you're putting out and how you're projecting yourself. Until you can schedule your priorities, exercise, losing weight, and getting healthy is not your why. No judgment. To each their own, but understand what I'm saying. If you want to do something and achieve a goal and identify what your why is, you're going to have to stick to it consistently. You can't do 3 days here, 1 day the next week, maybe then one more the next week after that, then do 2 days. It's not going to work. You know that, you've tried it, you've been down that path and it didn't serve you. What can you change today to serve you better? Consistent people do not make excuses. Inconsistent people run on excuses, and this is in many areas of their life. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you are prone to making excuses, then that is what you will do, because how you do one thing is how you do all things. And the same applies for those that are consistent with living a balanced life and taking care of themselves. If they are manifesting in that area of their life, it manifests into all areas of their life. Tip number 4, remove the options. Those that get the job done don't analyze what they are doing. They know that some exercise is better than no exercise, and that when it comes to weight loss, diet is the main factor. Consistent exercisers get the job done. What often happens to those that don't consistently stick with a plan is they look too much outward. They are thinking about what other people do. Oh, I heard that doing your cardio first thing in the morning is the best time for fat loss. Well, I can't do it first thing in the morning, so therefore I won't do it at all. Or, I've had some back trouble, so I probably shouldn't exercise or work out. This won't work for me. Well, there's something else that will. There's always something else, but we're so busy and focused on trying to do what other people do. If you want to follow what someone does, follow the people that are getting the job done consistently. Again, it doesn't matter what they're doing, what they're eating, what equipment they're using. Just take the lesson from them to do something and do it consistently. You will have results, I guarantee. It's never about whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it, which takes us to number 5. Remove your feelings. If you want to make your exercise routine a non-negotiable and stay consistent, then you have to remove your feelings about it. If I feel like it, then I'll walk when I get home. Or I'm just too tired tonight, so I don't feel like going to the gym. I had a stressful day and I'm so hungry. I'm just gonna pick up Chinese food, take it home, watch some Netflix. I deserve it. I work hard. I'm feeling stressed from this work day. I just don't feel like working out. See the examples? The feelings are attached to what gets done, okay? There's too much feeling in it. People that exercise consistently don't base whether they exercise on whether they feel like it or not. Again, I never feel like exercising. I don't enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it, then clearly I don't feel like doing it. But I look at it as my responsibility. What's my why? My why is to be healthy. My why is to be able to show up in everyone's life. And I can only do that if I'm healthy and feel good. If I feel good about myself, I feel good about other areas of my life. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? Right? I said that. How do you want to do your one thing, your why? Because it's going to manifest into every other area of your life. It will. But you have to stick with it, and you have to stick with it consistently because consistency is key. All right, 5 tips. You've got this. You've got this. And I will come back on March 1st with some more motivation to keep you inspired, keep you on your plan consistently, and to manifest a meaningful life. All right? There will be lots of videos in the drop-down box below that complement this. My whole library of 2019 monthly motivation videos will be there. They all complement what I'm sharing with you today. In fact, I've talked about everything that I shared with you today in those videos. This is just condensing it into another motivational video because that is what you want to hear. You want these videos, and I am happy to bring them to you. Don't forget to share this video, give the video a like. Comments and suggestions are always welcome, and you know I will see you in the next video, so take care.